So guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I want to give you a feedback about this vehicle after using it for a few, let's say 1,500 kilometers since I got it. So I have really been on some serious road trips over the last 3 weekends, and I want to give you some highlights about Mazda CX-5 2000cc petrol two-wheel. So this vehicle, in my view, it has been really good. Coming from a smaller vehicle, I can see this is really delivering to my power expectation and speed and everything. So I just want us to discuss more about fuel consumption and what is, within the driver's control. So those who don't know where I'm coming from, so this is my other small vehicle. So this is a Nissan March here, but now we are trying to sell it. So a lot of people have been coming here to see it, but we have not agreed on the price. But let us get back to the CX-5. I want us to discuss about a few things I have noticed in this car that really affects how you achieve fuel efficiency. Because for me, fuel efficiency is very, very important. I would not want to buy a vehicle that starts to give me stress when it comes to fuel consumption. So I want to feel like I am not stressed, I am not worried when I feel I need to travel because of the fuel budget. So let me discuss with you a few things that really contribute to significant loss of efficiency and how you can control that. Okay, let us start. So for this CX-5, I'll just show you a few things, and then we will get to the analytics there on that monitor, and then a few other parameters here I wanted to show you on the fuel dynamics. So one thing I came to notice the first time I got this car, with my other smaller vehicle, I was not using AC so much, so I was preferring to leave the windows open. But with this one, definitely, maybe I'm cruising at a higher speed, so I would prefer to close the windows completely and then use the AC. So when it comes to this CX-5, there are two things you really need to take care of. Otherwise, you will really feel the heat of fuel. Because there is a day I drove from Nairobi to Nyeri, and the fuel consumption was around 8 kilometers with 1 liter. And that was really worrying me. It was a big stress into my pocket, but I came to discover this after I discussed with a mechanic. So every time you are driving with your AC on, always use the internal circulation option. Never use this one. This one is if your AC is off, meaning that it is taking air from outside and then recirculating it, circulating it through the vehicle and then ejecting it to the outside. So it is fresh air from the outside, and then it is kicked out. But this other air, it is air picked from inside the car, and then it is recirculated. So it is like it is sucked by the by the how do you call it, this thing that creates cold inside the car. I'm just forgetting the name, but it is the same air that is inside the car that is being picked and then recirculated. Why is it not good not to use this option? So you should always press on this, okay, not this. Why this option is not good? It simply means that every time your AC picks air from the outside, it picks air at the how can I say, at the outside temperature, and then it cools it to the temperature that you want. But when you choose this recirculation, it means that the AC will pick the air that has already been cooled and it is already inside your car and recirculating it. So that means that your AC will not work extra hard, because if it has already cooled the initial air from, let's say, 26 degrees to 18 degrees Celsius, then the AC is doing very small work of recirculating this one. So the day I drove from Nairobi to Nyeri, it was really hot outside. It was around 27, 28 degrees Celsius. And then I selected the internal temperatures to be around 18 degrees. So every time air was being picked afresh from 29 degrees and then cooled down to 18 and then let go outside. But This one will save you a lot of fuel. So for me, that is one very, very big important thing. The other important thing is when you put your AC on. Let me just try it here. When you put your AC on, okay, you need to look before you set your temperatures here, because some people always go for the lowest temperature. They put 18. Okay, this is not necessarily useful, because what you need to know is, first of all, to look at what is the external temperature. So let me just show you here. This is the external temperature here. It is 26 degrees Celsius. And actually, outside it is not that cold, or it is not even that hot. 26 degrees Celsius outside, you can't say it is that hot. So even when you have 26 degrees Celsius inside your car, it is also not cold, it is not hot, it will not make you sweat. So what you need to do is to make the difference between the inside temperature and the outside temperature as close as possible. So always, if outside is around 26, put 26 or put 25 and then increase the fan speed. Okay, that way it will save you more fuel, because your AC is not working too much. So I'm trying to switch it off because I don't know the status of this battery and I don't want it to be like out of power. So the vehicle is not running, so I don't want to have my AC on when I'm having this video. So what I'm trying to tell you is that look at the outside temperature where we have checked here. If the outside temperature is 25, just have a temperature that is not that different, and then increase the fan speed so that you can have more air circulating. But if you put a difference of 10, let's say the outside is 30 degrees and then you put the inside 18 degrees, the AC will be using a lot of your fuel through, I don't know what system will make that, but that was from my experience. So the other important thing I wanted us to talk about is also using this dual option. Okay, make sure that when you put your AC on, use the dual option so that you have the same pressure from the left side of the because you have different controllers here. So this is for the right side of the driver and this is the side of the co-driver. So the co-driver can choose to have their own temperatures for the AC and also the temperatures for the co-driver. But if you don't want to overwork your AC, just unify the temperatures so that the AC is working as one harmonized unit instead of having it divided, and that will save you a lot of fuel. So the first time I drove this vehicle, I thought it will really give me a lot of headache in terms of fuel consumption. But after I did that, I wanted to just show you a trip I did on Sunday over the weekend. So you can see this was a trip actually from, how can I say, from Nairobi to Rari. So Rari is there at the flyover. Watu wenye wanatumianga hiyo barabara ya kwenda Eldoret, you know where you have flyover. So you don't proceed to Gilgil. So you just go to, you take the flyover na unaingia hiyo barabara yenye tango ya flyover. So I did around 250 kilometers and my average consumption was 15.7. Okay, so that I would say, and I really went very, very fast. I was running because we were a team and some guys were really racing. So we were trying to keep the speed at par. So I wouldn't say that I was very conservative in pressing my accelerator, but it gave me 15.7. But after really trying to manage the AC, because I saw that is one big contributor of fuel consumption. The other thing I wanted you to see is now the long-term average fuel consumption. So I have shown you for the 240 kilometers I did, but since I did a reset, I have done around 500 kilometers, you see, in total. So this is the one that I am tracking until I do the next full tank fueling. On average, with mixed town and long distance driving, I am getting 14.3 kilometers, which is actually very good. And then the other thing that is very important for me is this accelerator. You know, this the revolutions per minute. It is very important. If you press this vehicle hard, it will really run. That is for sure. But always make sure that if you have a CX-5, don't exceed your acceleration here. Sometimes when you are going uphill, this rev will go up to 3 and then it will go down after you achieve the maximum speed. Okay, so make sure that you maintain your revs within 2. And the beauty of this car is that even at 2, you can get very, very good speed. Okay, it is not like for these small cars. For these small cars, for you to achieve 100 kilometers per hour, you need to be around 3 in terms of revs. But this one, you can even have the revs below 2 and it will deliver you a very comfortable 80 kilometers per hour speed. So even when it comes to this odometer, the speedometer, always maintain your speed at around 80 and 100 with the revs of 2. Otherwise, this car will not give you fuel efficiency. So that is my study that I have done. And you can see that on this fuel economy monitor, my fuel efficiency has not been very, very great. So you can see the best fuel efficiency I got was yesterday after I mastered the AC and everything around it. So you see 15.7. So if I start driving, the beauty of Mazda is that if I start driving right now, it will keep track of what is the average consumption for this trip. But of course, you can see there is a progressive increase in efficiency as I continue to learn more about this. So that is it for today. I hope you have learned something, and I wish you all the best with your Mazda CX-5. As I continue to learn a few things, I will definitely let you know. But what I like about this car is that with a very small application of pressure in your accelerator, you achieve 80 kilometers per hour. And I don't think we buy these big cars to cruise at 140 or 160 kilometers per hour. No, you want to cruise at 80 kilometers per hour, maybe maximum 100, unless you are at an emergency. My wish would be I just drive at constant 80 kilometers per hour, and let me tell you, you will get to your destination very fast. Why? Because this vehicle will not feel, uphills, will not feel a lot of, flat ground where you have to increase your fuel. For this small car here that you are seeing, I was really struggling so much when I go to uphill, because uphill, I could not even achieve 30 kilometers per hour. Okay, it was really slow. When I go to a flat ground, I have to press on the on the accelerator until I have like revs of around 3 to 4, so that I achieve 80 kilometers per hour. Otherwise, I would cruise with 60 kilometers per hour. But the beauty of this car, you should not buy it to aim at speeding. Otherwise, it will cost you on fuel. Okay, aim 80 kilometers to 100 kilometers per hour at revs below 2. And this car will deliver fuel efficiency that you cannot compare with any other.